everybody. Welcome back to another episode of
Let Us Sip.
This is your girl, Brittany.
It's your girl, Kaloni.
Sophy's definitely in the building. Come on. You know I'm here.
And we have a man in the house, ladies.
Thank you.
I want to make sure I get the introduction correct. Executive producer of The Godfather of Harlem and actor, Mr. Markuann Smith.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and Let Us Sip. I got kind of scared. I was like, Let Us Sip. Oh, man. I might drink too much and start divulging too much information.
We don't want to incriminate you. We want to have a little fun with you.
It's all good.
We're going to have fun with the girls
Let's
today.
do it. Let's do it.
And yes, we're going to get right into it.
Right. So tell the people a little bit about yourself. Oh, yes. Sorry. Did want to mention, this is another gym that we spoke about from Far Rockaway. So take it away, Ms. Smith.
What could I say? You know, I grew up in Harlem on 128th and St. Nicholas. Then I moved out to Far Rockaway when I was like about 13, 14. Mm-hmm. And I came up in the 40 projects. Beach 40th houses, not 40th in South Jamaica, but
projects. Beach 40th.
But I lived in I grew up in a house in Bayswater. But I always, like, all my friends and everything were from the 40s. And if you ever really knew about anybody from the 40s, we all were from houses, you know what I'm saying? But we all just came together, like, you know, when we had parties, you know, when we went to war and everything like that. I started off in the music industry with my older brother, Father MC.
Oh, wow.
And Father's from Far Rockaway as well, too. Mm-hmm. And, I always say that Father kind of, like, he saved my life because I was going down a wrong route. You know, I went through the juvenile system. I was in Lincoln Hall. I was in Spofford. And I was just doing things I was just an out of control kid. Mm-hmm. And he gave me my first opportunity to get on the road and actually travel and see the world. Like, our first tour was with Candyman, Troop, High Five, Second to None. I started knowing about West Coast music because AMG and DJ Quick was on the road with us.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, man, I was on the road, and it really opened me up to wanting to be in the arts business, you know what I'm saying, the creative business, whether it's in music, whether it's in television, or whether it's in film. I like to create. And, it was a fun ride with him. Like, we did like 4 to 5 years straight. Father had a record called Treat Them Like They Want to Be Treated.
That's my shit.
You know?
That's pretty junk.
That was a big record. Especially, they used to call him the Chicken Man because he was working at, the KFC
on
Mott Avenue. And,
legendary.
He used to come out with flour all over him, but after he punches out, he had like the silk shirts and the ballies, and that's what kind of like my attribute to clothes was watching him. Like, he didn't let his surroundings, represent who he was as a person. He was like one of the flyest dudes that I knew. And I remember him giving me a big bag of ballies and was like, "Here, little bro, this is for you." You know what I'm saying? So, that was me in a whole. Far Rockaway, I had some great memories and I had some bad memories, as if you were growing up in Brownsville, if you were growing up in Bed-Stuy, Queensbridge, whatever. I lost a lot of people out there to the jail system as well as to the graveyard. And I think I was one of the fortunate to be able to say to myself that this is not the way that I want to go, and just wanted to change my whole surroundings.
Exactly. Like, one thing you did mention about him not letting his circumstances mess that up. That's one thing I always applaud about people in general from New York. You can come from the slum, dirty parts of the city, but nigga, you gonna get fresh. You gonna find a way to clean up. Yeah. That's one thing we always prided ourselves on. Even though we came from the hood or we lived in the hood, when we went out and we presented, we don't look like that's what we came from.
But you know what? It's called Sunday's Best. Really goes back to slavery, when, as a slave working on the plantation, they look forward to Sunday so they can escape their surroundings and have something that represented themselves. Right. That's why they always call it Sunday Best. And I think that goes up to our community right now. It's just like, we may not have this, but we want something to make us feel good, whether it's sneakers, whether it's clothes, saying something that could say, for you to escape your surroundings.
Right. So, before we do dive deep.
Okay.
Since it is Let Us Sip.
Yeah.
We we have the sip of the week.
Okay.
Okay, so if this is your first time listening and watching,
all right.
Every week we pick a word, and throughout the conversation, we're going to say the word. And when we say it, you have to drink.
Okay. Gotcha.
So this week's sip of the week is going to be the word Godfather.
Okay.
Fun,
Got
fun,
you.
fun.
Got you. Okay. Okay.
And by the time this episode does release, the season 2 premiere for Godfather of Harlem will be out, right?
Yeah, the first episode comes on tomorrow, so check it out, April 18th, 9 p.m. on Epix. You could watch it on Hulu, Amazon Prime, Apple TV. Just download the app Epix, and I'm telling you, it's going to be an episode that will make you go, wow.
Absolutely. Made me pay for Epix. I didn't have Epix in my plan. I'm like, no, I gotta see this Godfather Harlem.
I'm one of the last dinosaurs that still have cable. And yes, we bought the Epix package.
Yeah. But it was definitely worth it, and it was a hell of a show.
Thank you.
What was it like, just working with like the greats, Forrest Whitaker? Like, how did that even come about?
Well, it actually started back in even 2000.
Oh, wow.
And I was in Lenox Terrace with a young lady by the name of Margaret Johnson. Now, Margaret Johnson is like my godmother. Mm-hmm. Now, Margaret is played by the little girl that's on the show, and she's a phenomenal actress. She's actually playing Serena Williams, and her name is Demi Singleton. Okay. Beautiful person, her and her family. And we were reminded. So every Sunday I used to go up to Lenox Terrace, and Margaret used to tell me these magical stories about walking out of a tenement and smelling fresh laundry hanging out a window, or walking past 125th Street and see James Brown's name on top of the marquee, or even walking past Sugar Ray Robinson's barbershop. She'll poke her head in, and Nat King Cole will be getting a haircut. So it was these wonderful stories about Harlem back in the 60s. And she also used to tell me about a individual whose name is Ellsworth Raymond Johnson, who migrated up here from Charleston, South Carolina. And people on the street knew him as Bumpy Johnson. But he wasn't just a gangster. He read Shakespeare. He read Nietzsche. He was the first African-American that was able to sit down with the mob. I'm talking about the real mob, like Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky, Frank Costello, Vito Genovese. These are the guys that started the five families.
Right.
And they didn't look at him like a nigger. They looked at him as a smart Negro, but now he was the liaison between the dope from Pleasant Avenue and Little Italy. Mm-hmm. Because they have Little Italy down in Greenwich and Mulberry, but Pleasant Avenue was a Little Italy back then, and the relationship with West Harlem with the drugs. So she used to tell me all these magical stories, and she wanted the story about her father to be told. And I made her a promise in 2000 that I would get it to be told. And she didn't want the story that you saw on Hoodlum or American Gangster, because he didn't die in front of 40 RCA TVs. You know what I'm saying? He actually died in my character's arms. It was just a promise, man, that I said, you know what? I'm going to go out there and make that happen for you. And here we are, 2021. She passed away in 2016, and we watching Godfather Harlem.
Wow. I know she's looking down, just smiling upon from heaven.
Yeah.
Just excited. Like, I knew he was going to make it happen.
Yeah, and she was an individual, like, who was unapologetic, didn't give a fuck. I remember she used to ride around Lenox Terrace in her motorized wheelchair, and she used to have this mangy poodle, and she would just ride around and she would mean mug people. So one time, and this is a true story, you guys can look it up, I'm not making this up. She's downstairs on her motorized wheelchair riding around, and she got like a Mary Poppins basket with the dog in it, and somebody tried to rob her, tried to mug her. She took out her .357 and shot the motherfucker in the ass, and he ran into McDonald's. And the newspaper called her Granny Oakley. So when the cops came, they said, "Where were you going?" She said, "Oh, I was on my way to the gun range." And they knew that she wasn't on her way to the gun range with that. So they told her, they took away her guns and everything like that. And then the Daily News found a picture of her with a Uzi on the cover of the newspaper. So she was real unapologetic. She was a real great individual, and she loved her father.
That's what's up. So with our guests, we normally like to play a game. to try to just ease you into our world.
Right, let's go. Let's go. As long as y'all don't cheat.
No.
All right.
This one's only you.
This is a fun one.
So the name of this game is called What's on Your Mind.
Okay.
I'm going to say a word, and you tell me what's the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay? So, let's start. 2020.
Hell.
Power.
Power, the TV series, or just the word power?
Power, the word.
The power, the word. Orgasmic.
Life.
Real.
Money.
Money. The root to all evil.
That's the first thing that came to mind. Queens.
Queens as in Queens the borough, or Queens as women?
What you thought first?
Well, y'all all queens, so I figured you was talking about y'all. That's
call
the
you
first...
my son because you shy.
Queens royalty.
Love.
Iffy.
Oh, we gonna get into that.
Iffy.
Cannabis.
Don't do it.
Moist.
Tasty.
Sunday.
Rest.
Pink. I know what came to mind. Godfather. Let's drink.
Damn it, man.
Dreams.
Real.
Wet.
Nasty.
Snowfall.
Love it.
Passion.
Nasty.
Risk.
Reward.
Tease.
Hate it.
Petty.
Hate it.
Killer.
Killer. It's a must sometimes. I don't know how to answer that. Killer.
I'll share mine. Cop.
Pigs.
Protect.
And serve your community. You're supposed to protect and serve your community.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Here comes the boomerang. Godfather.
Longevity. Perseverance.
You.
Me?
You. Juicy.
Me and Juicy?
No, just you. Juicy.
Just me?
When I think of Godfather, I thought of you.
Oh, you did? Okay. Gotcha.
Juicy.
Greedy.
Father.
Sad.
Why?
Because when I think about my father, I never had a father. So as an adult, sometimes you kind of like flip back and say, damn, if you had a pops that guided you down a certain way, you wouldn't have been a certain way. Like you look to the streets as being your father. You know what I'm saying? So I got a stepfather, but my real father I never met. So sometimes it's just like, damn, I could have been doing something different. Like it took me so long to get to where I'm at. It's almost like you hustling on borrowed time. Like you trying to catch up. Nas had a song called Your Second Childhood. It's like you trying to make up for the lost time that you did, like right now. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of us are doing that. A lot of us. Hunger.
Oh man, hunger forever.
That's how you get to the monies.
Forever.
Instagram.
Hate it. Fake.
Black.
Proud.
Harlem.
Magical.
I agree. Family.
Family. Loyalty.
And you're done, so take a drink. Godfather.
Good job.
You made it. Before the Godfather of Harlem, what were you doing before that?
Oh man, I was for the Godfather of Harlem. See, I have an interesting My life and my career has been always a roller coaster. Before we can go back to, I was on the road, I was traveling. When Father left, and he left Uptown MCA on, I think it was his third album, I started hustling and just trying to figure out, where I was gonna go. And I caught a Fed charge in 99, 2000. And by the grace of God, if anybody knows about the Feds, try to go to 500 Pearl Street. That's like walking in the Castle Grayskull. That's like, anytime you see the United States versus you, it's a problem. It's a problem. Right. So by the grace of God, everything worked out where, I didn't have to go to jail, but I had federal probation, and I started working at BET.
Oh, wow.
And I worked at BET for 16 years. And I was really only working at BET because I was signed to Whitney Houston at one time. And she had a label called A Better Place Records or Nippy Inc. Robin Crawford had...
That's her best friend, right?
Yeah, Robin Crawford had brought me in. And a guy by the name of Harold Frazier who lived in Rockaway, he had this company called The Specialist Entertainment. He did Pink's first album. And so I was always rapping, and doing different stuff. But my PO was like, nigga, you need to get a job. You ain't making no money. I'm coming to the studio and I'm smelling weed and all that other stuff. So, by the grace of God, I got a job at BET. And I remember the first 3 years on Fed probation, I used to have to stick my head out the door and be like, hey, I'm at work. So I started working, but, I was never a 9-to-5 guy. I was like, corporate America is like, if you keep working for somebody, you working to build their dreams. And you kind of like forgetting your dreams and what your path is, and
we never even get the chance to figure it out.
You never get an opportunity to. So I'm like, why you gotta wait till 67 years old to really enjoy yourself so you can get pancakes for like $2 and you know what I'm saying, and you go get a timeshare in Orlando somewhere and play
shuffleboard
or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So I was never that type, and 16 years later I got let go because it was a merger with Viacom and BET. But it happened in 2000, but it really happened like the doors started closing in like 2015, 2016. Because I started looking across the cubicles. It wasn't no more BET HR. There was no more BET Finance. It was all Viacom. And I got called into a room on Friday, and I thought it was a team meeting, allegedly. And it was my boss, his boss, and HR that said, I'm glad that you've been a great worker for the last 16 years, but we don't need you anymore. And they gave me an envelope, and in that envelope, it was only $4,000 for 16 years. That's severance. So I had to figure this shit out real fast because the only thing I knew was what I'm doing now or going back to the streets. And everybody thought, yeah, you work at BET, so what? So because I get tickets to go to the BET Awards and the Hip Hop Awards and Black Girls Rock. That wasn't me. I was always creating and developing projects while working within the system. I never looked like I was I never thought I was working for BET. I'm gonna utilize their fax machines. I'm gonna utilize their computers, whatever. Because I didn't want to be there. Because who wants to go to work where you got somebody telling you only could take a lunch? You could take a lunch break for an hour,
half an hour,
or half an hour, and you got to come back on a smoke break in 15 minutes. It's like I couldn't deal with that. So I decided that I wanted to change my surroundings. So they let me go, and I just had to figure it out. I had to get on my knees. And when you at your lowest point, that's when you get to know yourself as a human being, with God and everything like that. Because the only thing I knew was like, if this doesn't work, I'm not going to go work at Costco because I don't know how to do that. I'm not a 9-to-5 person. I'm a creator. You know what I'm saying? I'm an artist. I'd rather be dead if I can't create. And I went on this journey to get Godfather done.
Well, you said it because I was on my way to do it. Come on, that deserves a drink.
And I think it's dope how it is that you just said that because ultimately, like when you're working in corporate America, just in general, they'll give you just enough money, like a little raise for you to bury your own dream. Like every year, every 6 months, they're gonna give you a little couple coins just for you to be like, all right, I'm making a little bit more money. I'm making a little bit more. I seen a lady that was working for one of the companies that was for 30 years. They gave her a pin that said, thank you for your 30 years of service. She's out of here. It's nothing else.
Absolutely. I know someone, and I'm not even going to say their names, but my man was working at a hospital for 29 years.
They famous for that.
And 30th year, he probably would have been close to retiring. They fired him on his 29th year because the man was tired and they caught him sleeping. Mm-hmm. So you gave 29 years of your fucking life to this place. Mm-hmm. And they telling you, you know what, now figure it out. Mm-hmm. People have to realize, like, those cubicles, all they gonna do is lice all that shit down, and move the next person.
All those businesses are designed to work with or without you. And when Sophie mentioned that little bit of raise that they give you every 6 months or every year, that's shut the fuck up money. Yeah. You've been complaining. Yeah. Now shut the fuck up. I gave you your money. Now move on.
Or, you know, I'm at BET, so everybody is fighting like hyenas to get tickets to go to the BET Awards or the Hip Hop Awards. Like, if that's your goal, see, that wasn't my goal. My goal was to start my own production company, because I was always, when I was into the streets, I wasn't never a soldier. Mm-hmm. I was always like, if I fall, I'm going to fall on my own terms. I'm not going to fall because how somebody else let me fall. And I knew I was walking on a tightrope. See, people walk tightropes with safety nets. I don't have no safety net because I don't believe in plan Bs. Mm-hmm. If it ain't a plan A, because when you say you got a plan B, you planning to fail. Yes. You feel what I'm saying? And people don't realize that, well, if this doesn't work, this doesn't work. Now, this got to work, because there's no bunk beds in the graveyard. Mm-hmm. Right. When you die, you dying by yourself. You ain't your husband ain't coming with you. Your moms ain't coming with you. Your dreams when you go to sleep at night, those are your dreams. Right. Those nightmares are your nightmares. So you have to, you know, I don't mean to preach, but I tell everybody, like, then go after your dreams. Don't hold back, because we all living on an expiration date. And I know you guys seen it during the COVID. I know a lot of people have lost loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know?
True. I feel that working in corporate, I mean, we all kind of work in corporate. And I know being young, working in corporate, at first I was 25. Like, all right, I'm going to give y'all 25 years of my life. Because I'm looking at my mom, she's in her early 50s. I'm like, all right, I'll do that, 25 years. Pushing into like 4 years, it's no way. I know I was born to create. So I can't stomach it. Yeah. I refuse to give y'all go to sleep 8 hours just so I can give y'all no, I'm going to be up doing makeup, doing something all night, and then I'm going to give y'all about 4 hours enough, because after a while, you already know the shit, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, all right, I already know what I'm doing. Let me just come in. The hardest thing I always say is getting there. Yeah. Yeah. Like, and even when I'm there on my lunch break, I'm writing down, let us sip, figure out you have to keep yourself. I have to keep myself creating. So, like, when you were saying chasing your dreams, like, you know, a lot of artists in here, like, what can you say to tell, you know, a lot of young people that's probably watching and just to get inspired?
I tell, first thing, you have to know that nobody owes you shit. When you can realize that nobody owes you nothing. Yes. Because a lot of people come out like, you owe me something. You feel what I'm saying? And I say this, like, even in the position I am right now, I always try to reach back, and like my boy Uno might call me, I'm like, I'm there. Mm-hmm. And May call me, I'm there, because I like to support people. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you can't support everybody, because sometimes you got to turn your circles into squares, because there are people out there that want you to go fish, bring the fish, fillet the fish, season the fish, and feed them. You feel what I'm saying?
So what are you doing?
Like, how are you going to call and ask me to hook you up with a role when I had to audition for my own role, you know what I'm saying, as an executive producer? Mm-hmm. A lot of people want a microwave society instead of a slow burn. You feel what I'm saying?
That's like Instagram.
You know what I'm saying? What tastes better? Jerk chicken that's slowly cooked in that big upside down garbage can, or chicken you just put in the microwave and put it in a minute?
No, it be cold in there. It be cold in the middle.
No, but it's the truth. I tell people, if you knock on opportunity's door and it doesn't open for you, go to Home Depot, buy some lumber, build your own door, and put a doorknob and open that shit and do your own thing. Create your own platform. You feel what I'm saying? Right. There's no way somebody can tell me that they're broke. You only broke because you want yourself to be broke. Right. So when people hit me up and ask me to hook me up and all that stuff, I ignore a lot of people, because you're not showing me any type of initiative that you want to go get it yourself.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly. You know what's so funny about that? Because I was talking to a dude, and he's like, man, if I could just get my hand on $5,000, I'm like, okay, you want $5,000? So what you gonna do with it? No plans. He had no clue what it is he's gonna do. He just wanted the $5,000. So you was just gonna sit on it. You're gonna look at it. You're gonna spend it. No plans at all.
But that's even like with society right now. Okay, you know, the government gives you these SBA loans and these PPP loans. You get the money, and these dickheads go buy Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and then the feds is knocking on your door instead of doing what you're supposed to do with it. And then you're lying, talking about you got 100 employees and you don't got 100 employees. Like, people ain't gonna find out. You feel what I'm saying?
Tracking that money. They gave you that shit.
This is a business. If you get a loan, why don't you buy laptops for your business? You know what I'm saying?
What's gonna help it grow?
Build up your Dun & Brad for your LLC or your INC or whatever that you have. You know what I'm saying? Use it for your benefit. Just don't go out there and buy Balenciaga and all that other stuff. And then after that goes, then what? You feel what I'm saying?
You just put it right back into the system. You made them rich. Now, speaking of you auditioning for your role, tell us a little bit about the character that you played on The Godfather of Harlem after you take that drink.
Okay, let's go. I might have to pour me some more because there's no more in there.
Listen, we have to pour you up.
Thank you.
Yeah, pour your own trips.
All right.
And I'm pour mine too. So go ahead. You can.
My role, I play a character by the name of Jameson Junibird.
Is that why you like Jameson?
That's not Jameson though.
Oh,
see, look, you was drinking too much. That's Jack.
Jack and his cousin. My bad. Go ahead.
So, I play a character by the name of Jameson Junibird, and Junibird is one of Bumpy's lieutenants. Actually, in real life, Bumpy died of congestive heart failure in Junibird's arms. So, that's the character that I play, and I have two other guys that are part of Bumpy's gang. Shout out to Elvis Nolasco, he plays Nat Pettigrew, and Eric LaHarvey, he plays Del Chance, his other lieutenant. So I'm like kind of like the running the dope house, all the illegal activities that you could think of. I'm doing. Yeah.
No, I like your character. It was one part in the first season, like when the Italians was about to come up and they thought that, they was about to get Bumpy, and you see you peeking out, you got your gun right there. That was ready.
But you know what? That was a build up. A lot of people say, and this is real funny as actors, right? They say, "Yo, don't you want to get more like pages?" I'm like, man, you want to let your character build up. You know why? Because you be the next motherfucker to get Game of Thrones or killed off. You know what I'm saying? And you get killed off, that means your check is gone. You know what I'm saying?
So thank you for your time.
Exactly. So you have to, everything is not about being a leading man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you watch Power and you saw how Dre's character started building up. You know what I'm saying? Like, second season, you'll see my character slowly building, and everything will be building, and you'll start to know who I am as a character by watching on second season.
Yeah, because I like how they splash you here and there, and I always watch them. I'm like, you gotta watch him. Something about to happen with him. Okay, I'm watching.
Yeah. So how long was the auditioning?
Oh man, I was auditioning. Well, we sold the show, and we were going through the casting process. As an executive producer, say all of us are on the couch right now, we're all EPs. We're actually watching actors audition in front of us and say, we like this person, right? Now imagine you as an executive producer having to do that, and this is the project that you brought to life. You feel what I'm saying? So as the youngest executive producer, I get a little hazing, I go through all of that, but they make me work for mine, which I appreciate. Forrest is my big brother, just sitting down having conversations with him, and when they say action, and he's like, "You good?" I'm like, "I'm good." And then he tells me, he's like, "Yo, you did good." I'm getting that from my Oscar award-winning actor. You feel what I'm saying? And there's never such thing as a small role. And who told me that was Michael Wright, who played Eddie Kane on the Five Heartbeats, because he said, Denzel said Michael Wright can steal a scene with just his eyes, not even opening his lips, just the way he looks. You feel what I'm saying? So you always have to think that. And then I'm with the greats like Giancarlo Esposito. From Breaking Bad. This guy, as an actor, I do methods. So he may go right, and you think he's going right, and you go in this, he may flip up and say something else, boom, and he hit you with the left, and you still like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? And then you got Vincent D'Onofrio from Full Metal Jacket, a real humble person. It's really dope. Chaz Palminteri, Paul Sorvino from Goodfellas, and then Nigel Thatch. That's my homie. He didn't just play Malcolm X. He says he works Malcolm X.
He does his thing.
Nah, I personally, and he'll tell you, I personally campaigned for him to get that role because, you know, he played Malcolm in Selma.
Yeah.
So, you know, casting directors were like, well, let's try to give somebody else a chance. I was like, nah, I want him. I kept saying that. And Chris Brancato, who's the creator of the series Narcos and the creator of Godfather of Harlem, along with Paul Eckstein and James Atchison and Nina Yang Bon Jovi. He said, fuck it. He said, fuck it. Call Nigel Thatch. And Markuann keeps saying Nigel Thatch. And I swear to God, it was 90 degrees outside the ABC building. I got shorts on. I see this cab pull up. He comes out with a black overcoat, white shirt, black tie, and the Malcolm X fedora and the glasses. He came to play Malcolm X. He came in and said, let me get right to it. And he nailed it. And we was like, yo, he got it. And he's one of the most humblest cats. And he's an actor that becomes that character. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, for the ladies, I have to say he brings a lot of sexy to Malcolm.
Got you.
I was like, all right, I get it. I'll be the nurse. I'll pull him stuff.
Yeah.
What part do you enjoy the most? Because honestly, now if anybody knows, like, he's very humble. Okay, because what he's really saying is, I'm getting about 3 checks going on. Y'all do the math going on. Let's do the math. Like, all right, you're not gonna meet a lot of Markuann Smith. That's why God only made one. Okay. Now, what do you enjoy the most? Like acting, production. Like, what role do you?
Well, to be honest with you, it's kind of like a 50-50 thing because I got into the producer side because no one gave me an opportunity as an actor. So instead of waiting for someone and I'm getting 1,000 no's and this person telling me no, that person telling me no, I said, you know what? It's time to create. And I'm not talking about doing like some independent film and you robbing a drug spot and thinking, you know what I'm saying? Let's really create and make something great. And on the producer side, I like doing that because I'm able to utilize my thoughts. Like I did a lot of the research, you know, for the writers' room. Before even Forrest and those guys came along, I was at the Schomburg Museum, you know, looking up old microfiles with this guy by the name of Tony Gentry who was helping me. And I was just looking and pulling, because there's nothing out there on Bumpy Johnson. So I had to go out there and just grab it as much as I can. So when the writer's room was set up and we got greenlit, they'd be like, okay, Dag, this non-writing EP brought all this stuff to us and was able to provide a smorgasbord of stuff for the writers to actually pick and pull and pick and pull and pick and pull.
Yeah, because I actually Googled him myself, and it's hard to find like sufficient, not even sufficient, like good information. Because when you look up Bumpy Johnson, you find Hoodlum. Yeah. And I remember watching Hoodlum as a little girl, and I was like, oh, so that's what they were doing? Yeah. And then, like you said, he's mentioned again in American Gangster. Yeah. And, you know,
Cotton Club, American Gangster. I mean, he was a, you know, the old timers told me that when Bumpy died, Harlem died. You feel what I'm saying? Wow. Because like I was saying before, Bumpy wasn't just a gangster. You know what I'm saying? He was way more than a gangster. He was somebody that was trying to change the community. You know, coming home from Alcatraz doing 13 years. When he got sentenced, he looked back at Mamie, who was played by Il Finesse, and said, don't cry, babies. It's all part of the game. You know what I'm saying? And he did his 13 years, 10 toes down.
When he came home, he was like, I need my block back. He was not playing like, get my shit. I know what y'all was doing. I'm coming to get my shit back. Yeah. And I respect that because, like, you know, you see that in the hood all the time. You people, but you see it was a different aspect. And even his wife, even though you could tell she was a little shaky, but she was letting him, you know, take the lead and do what he had to do. So. And
I think also with the project, we didn't want to glorify Bumpy because, you know, at the end of the day, he's a fucking drug dealer. He was a pimp. You know what I'm saying? Just because he bought a couple of book bags for the kids and sent them to school or gave some turkeys on Christmas or put a busload of kids going to Great Adventure, you still destroy the community. So this is not a project about justifying the rights or wrong, just telling a story about a tortured older gangster coming home and trying to change his ways. Because I grew up with a lot of motherfuckers that were selling drugs, but just because you sold drugs and you gave me some money to go to school, that doesn't justify you just selling crack to such and such as mother. You still a drug dealer. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So outside of the Godfather of Harlem, right?
Yeah, you looked at me to make sure. He's like, right, okay.
Make sure you too. Who is Markuann on his off days when you're not working?
I'm just an individual, man. That's I have a window of opportunity right now, and I just work. I don't look at it like Jay-Z had this song. You gotta hustle like it's your first time. Mm-hmm. That's what I do. I create. I have a bunch of projects that I'm creating right now. I'm looking for a home where I can be able to. When I say a home, like a Fox or a Sony or something like what Issa Rae did,
right?
Mm-hmm. With HBO or Lena Waithe did with I think she's with Amazon or Showtime or whatever.
Yeah, she's doing both.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so a place where I can be able to create our own narratives because everybody's betting on black right now, and it's supposed to have been betting on black. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So now it's like we're the coolest things. We're the unicorns. We're the zebras without the stripes running down the street.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Right. So I'm just. I'm always constantly creating. I have a shoe line out. It's called Johnny Famous. It's like an old and inspired by the old school Bally's. It's really cool, really dope. Mm-hmm. I just signed a deal on a new app that's coming out called Cine, CINE. I got a lot of things that I'm going that I just staying busy, man. Mm-hmm. I got my mind has to stay working and stay creating.
So with you being busy all the time, does that run into your love life?
Nah, not at all, man, because anyone that's with me has to understand this is what it is. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I've had issues, before, like, where people don't understand that, but that's just me. Because, like, I'm telling you straight up and down, like, I feel like I'm hustling on borrowed time. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to play catch up for the 20 years I done fucked up. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I fucked up bad back then. You know what I'm saying? So now I got an opportunity. Right. You got to keep going. It's like you're trying to play catch up because we have so much time on this earth. You feel what I'm saying? Right. So any partner that you with has to understand that. Because I'll tell you what's so crazy. Your fathers all want that Prince Charming to ride on that white horse and snatch you away and do better than he ever did, right? So now you find that Prince Charming that did it. He bought you the big house. You got the kids going to Jack and Jill. You traveling at least like 4 times a year and all of that, right? But to do that, he has to work 30 or 40 hours a week to make it happen. So what are you doing? You're missing him. Right. So that's so it's not really 100% relationship because you're getting 50% of what you want, but 50% of it you're not getting. So what do you give up? You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Do you give up that lifestyle that you wanted? You know what I'm saying? But he has to work to provide that lifestyle.
And that's the problem that a lot of women face because when you're dating a high-value man and you're considered a high-value man, women don't understand that baby not going to be home all the time. Absolutely. They don't understand that he's not going to be there to coddle you and y'all go horseback riding in the afternoon and shit. You want this lifestyle.
I'm not the guy that you come home with a newspaper and a cup of coffee saying, well, hey, Dad, I'm home from, because I'm like I said, I'm hustling on borrowed time.
Right.
It's 2 things I got going against me, that I'm black right now, and then I got a felon. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you have to keep creating and keep on that route that you're going on, and whoever you're with, you're hoping that they will support you on that route.
Mm-hmm. Right. Has it been hard for you though?
Nah, it has because it's like a 50-50 thing. You feel what I'm saying? That people say they support you. I mean, from families and friends. Everybody that's proud for you ain't really proud for you. Always remember that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Nigga be like, I see what you're doing over there. I'm proud of you. Nigga like, yeah, word. I saw that and paid in full. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You got to pay attention to people.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
You got to pay attention to people's word and be like, I got to get like you.
You know what I'm saying? Or your man just made it to the NBA and said, yeah, nigga, we made it. What you mean we made it? You know what I'm saying? Congratulations, we made it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. All right, so you've been on the road from back in the day to now. You're still in the game. So, what groupies do you think are the more freakiest? The new ones or the old ones?
Man, to be honest with you, them aunties was like, they aunties now. Like, them aunties that do something strange for a piece of change. Like, I mean, because I was young at the time, and I had aunties coming at me. You know what I'm saying? See, these new super Jetson groupies, like
pillow princesses,
whatever they do, they go to Dubai and do all kinds of crazy shit over there, and,
they be getting
and
shitted
then they come back and exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Price ain't right.
Diaper love and all kinds of dumb stuff.
Not the diaper love.
You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't have Dubai and all that stuff back then, so them aunties was really like, you know,
about that life.
From Freakney.
So what, even with that being said, so the aunties, so how you feel about these enhanced bodies like that? It's cool to you, the little constructed?
Man, I look at it like this. If that's what you want to do, but if you want to look like a Sagittarius sign, like half horse, half woman, yo, that's what you want to do. Hey,
Godfather.
So you know what I'm saying?
So you done been around the whole world, right? What's the craziest thing you ever seen a fan do for an artist?
Oh man, oh yeah, I was in Colorado at the time, right? And I was sitting outside my tour bus. My brother gonna kill you, but whatever, man. We gonna let it sit right now. So anyway, I'm sitting outside the tour bus, right? And this girl comes out of nowhere. This got to be like 91, and says, "Is Father MC on the bus?" And you know, I got the Father jacket, so I was like, "Yeah, that's me." You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no Instagram thing, y'all.
Yeah, that's me. I'm on the bus. Right. So we go on the bus, right? And we here just kicking, chilling, and then my Father comes on the bus with Tricky and Disco. They come on the bus, and she's in the front, I'm in the back, and she's like, "Who y'all?" This Father MC bus. He in the back.
That's like a Coming to America.
Yeah, it was. So I come out, my brother laughing, right?
He let you live?
They laughing, right? And I was just drinking some Cisco. You remember that back in the days? Oh, man.
And we're not talking about the singer.
He's still alive. And he's still here,
I don't even
folks.
know how I'm still alive.
He's still here.
I don't know how I'm still alive after drinking Cisco. Like,
you still got liver?
We used to steal that shit from Mott Ave liquor store. I used to have a friend by the name of Nairobi, and this motherfucker would get full off a half a beef patty because that's how much liquor he would drink. Like this dude was but I hope to this day that, you know, but he was like really, you know what I'm saying?
A lush.
But and that's my man, I love him, but we really used to get it in back then. So back to the story. So Father and them come on the bus, and he says, "Come over here to the girl." And she said, "What you want?" He said, "I am Father." He said, "I don't believe you." And, you know, he started laughing. And I don't know what happened, but she ended up getting spanked by like 4 or 5. And she was like, "Oh, y'all ain't shit. Too short hit better than this."
That's somebody's grandma right there.
Yo, I swear I'm not making this up. Like, for real.
Godfather.
Yo.
All right, so now as we did, if people pay attention to your Instagram and just you just like a getting fly person. So just right now, top 3 kicks.
Oh man, I like my Gucci 84s. I love these. Like I got every colors, like black, the low top ones. I love Air Max 95s. Yeah. I used to hustle back in DC, and that's what we used to wear. We used to wear the 996 New Balances and the Air Max 95s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I love the Nike Dunks that you had on, like the Syracuse colors, the Final Four colors, like the Michigan, and they had the Georgetown. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right, favorite designer.
Favorite designer, I would say is I like Polo, man. I'm a Ralph Lauren fan. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's vintage poppy,
you know what I mean? Because you know, Virgil, I appreciate what you're trying to do for Louis, but that whole having an airplane and buildings on your shit, you know, like walking around with the Empire State Building looking boxy, I can't really, you know, get with it. I know that could be for somebody, but like I fuck with Polo.
Yeah. All right. So if it was one thing that you could change about Godfather, we're gonna drink up again, of Harlem. One thing that you can change, what will it be? Season 1. What would you do different?
Nothing.
Okay. If it was one documentary that you could do that nobody never did, who would it be?
One documentary? Frank Matthews.
Oh. I watched something.
And you know what? It's so crazy because a mentor of mine has the rights with the writer, and I think Frank Matthews was the one that got away.
How about say you think he's
and he
still
did
alive?
it on his own accord. Do you know how he got away? He was actually, after he bailed out, he was going to court, and he had the young lady, I forgot her name, I don't even want to chop it up. She was sitting in the courtroom. He went to the bathroom to use the bathroom, and the prosecutor was sitting next to him in the urinal, standing next to him in the urinal, and said, he looked over, he said, yo, so you really going to put me away for life, right? He said, yeah, man, I'm just doing my job. Frank walked back. He knocked on the court door, because remember, he was out on bail. He was like, psst, 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 psst. Shorty looked up, and he went like this, and they never saw him again.
Yes, a lady from Texas or something. I think her name was Crystal or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think he's still alive?
I don't know. It's rumors that the mob killed him. There's rumors that he's around. Who knows? But I just like stories that like the narratives are really dope, and you have to really go into the character to see why they did what they did.
Right. He was the man. He definitely was the man. So y'all got any more questions?
That's about it.
Damn, this is fun.
I know. I'm ready to
had so much
again.
fun. I'm like, wait, hold on. What we did not. Well, we didn't ask. For the ladies. So the ladies, they want to know.
Yeah.
Is
this high value man
Smith, single? Is he off the market? How are you feeling right now?
Nah, I'm presently in a situation right now.
Situationship?
Yes,
or
situation.
A situationship. I hope you can edit this motherfucker out.
Yes. Godfather.
I got one.
I hate when people ask me that, and then I gotta explain the situation. I hope this gets edited out.
No, you don't explain the situation.
Because what a man and a woman have, that understanding is your business.
Yes.
Shit.
We didn't ask you to.
It's your business.
Y'all gonna have me like Al Green with grits on me. Like,
no, we didn't ask you to list a name or anything. People just want to know. So ladies can be respectful not to slide in your DMs. Because after this,
because the situationship is going to attack the ladies in the DM and tell, what the fuck you doing sliding in his DM?
And we met at New Apollos.
Because the whole term of like cheating respectfully and how do you feel?
Is this really going on camera right now? Or this is going to be edited out?
No. Like, only because it's been lingering around. And we didn't want to go deep into it.
Yeah.
But being that you are a respectful man, how do you feel about the whole terms that you see around like cheating respectfully? Like what? Like
no, what it is this. Like let's be real about it. Everybody has someone. If you say you don't have someone, you're lying to yourself.
Except me.
No,
I don't have anyone.
Except me.
No, everybody has something in their life that they do.
Jesus.
You ran out of holes. You can have Jesus, or you can have Duracell batteries. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, we only humans. Like, we all have someone, right? The fact of the matter is, the partner that you with, you have to make sure that partner can accept you for who you are. You feel what I'm saying?
Respect that.
Even as an entrepreneur or a black man, period, that's hustling, trying to get it right now, it's hard. And the only thing that a woman's supposed to make hard in your life is your dick. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to tell you.
Shit,
you know what I'm saying?
Drink
and
up,
only
people,
what she's supposed to make a woman is her, chocho, not her eyes.
We were talking about the words wet.
You know what I'm saying?
Wet.
So, but you have to also understand the fact of the matter that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're dealing with your ride or die, your partner. She got to be really ready to ride or die with you.
Right.
She can't question you. Like, don't ask to look at my phone because and the reason why I say this, because you can say, let me look at your phone, right? But are you really ready to accept that, I was somebody before you even came around?
Is she paying that bill?
Not only that, since 1991, I have over 8,000 people. Like, I'm not a new jack to this, right?
Right.
So if you look in that phone and see something that you don't like, and I'm telling you, it's not like that because I'm with you, and you go batshit crazy, that shows me that I can't do that. That's like that's like you having a drink, and I'm telling you, don't take the keys and drive the car. But you do it anyway. Right. And then you catch a DWI. Now you can't get the keys anymore.
Right. That's why it's very important to know who you're with, because I'm sure, like, if you know you got to catch 3 flights, you got to do this, do that. By the time you walk home, you want somebody that's either making some food or like doing something to like so you can forget everything.
You notice I said bruh.
And then the overall is don't have a heart attack and you gonna still stay there. Bruh. Let him cheat in peace. Let the man cheat in peace. You gonna turn up and still be there.
If you give the man a time to come home and just enjoy himself, he may not ever cheat.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
But I'm saying though, you know, it's like you could be the opposite of Tina Turner is me and she's Ike. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's like I'm not going to jail behind no broad because I press charges.
Right.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
and on going to jail, and I will be testifying. Like,
ladies and gentlemen,
I got too much to lose.
Does anyone have any final words? Markuann, tell these people if you have anything coming up you're working on, and you know, stuff like
yeah. Right now, I'm working on this project about DC in the 80s, from 85 to 90. It's going to be really dope. Really dope. It's like, kind of like when I was down there. I'm working on the Bobby Womack project with Bobby Womack and his family. Gina Ray Womack, her mother Regina.
Another legend.
Dope.
I'm doing the Bone Thugs and Harmony story. I'm working with Busy Bone.
Making some moves, people. Got a lot of things going on.
I got another project called Once a Cop with my boy Corey Pegues. Okay. He used to sell drugs for Supreme and those guys, and he shot somebody. He went away to the Army, became the highest ranked police officer in New York City. Wow. And when he retired, anyway, he got hurt on the job. They found out when he wrote the book that he used to sell drugs for Supreme and those guys, and they tried to take away everything, try to strip him away of his pension and his badge and everything, like he didn't exist. And he's the coolest person. You might see him on MSNBC. He's on that new show called Crack on Netflix.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm always working. I'm always staying busy.
Working. And let these people know where it is they can find you on social media.
Okay. My social media, Instagram is @Markuann. That's MARKUANN. Twitter is The Real Markuann. That's DAREAL MARKUANN. And I don't really do Facebook. That's like for the aunties. Yeah, like, you know, that's like I call them tenant patrol. Like the aunties, they be like, who you coming to see? Markuann Smith on.
I saw you last night. I seen that little girl. That fast ass.
Like there's a lot of Facebook used to be fun, but there's a lot of aunties just sitting there
before they let
watching,
them in.
Man,
watching and ready.
Right. Yeah. But we definitely have to have a part 2 because you are our new friend to the show. We gonna trip. But we thank y'all so much for joining us this evening. And this is your girl, Brittany.
It's your girl, Kaloni.
Sophy right around here.
And follow us on Instagram at Let Us Sip Pod. You'll find our handles. We're on Twitter, Facebook, all that other fun stuff. And make sure you subscribe to the page. And we will see y'all next week on another episode of
Let Us Sip.
We on YouTube too. We on make sure you check out that YouTube. My thing empty. Damn.
Thank you for listening to Let Us Sip. Please remember to subscribe wherever you get your podcast from. And if you like what you heard, leave us a comment. If you feel like we can do better, leave us a comment too. But be respectful. We read everything and only want to grow. So thanks again for your love and support, and we will see you next week.